Welcome to Season 3 of Off Script with Sam Monk, Senior Leader of Equippers Church. We're talking about what's worked, what hasn't, and leadership lessons from the journey. Enjoy today's podcast.
Here we are.
Hey.
Good to have Jake with me. Knicks fan. He's a very happy man after many years.
Not that this is time and date stamp, but yes, I'm a very happy man. 50 long years of waiting for the Knicks.
So, yeah, he's been a diehard supporter for a number of years. He's been consistent in the highs.
It's not an
and the
idol. I'm not
lows.
saying it's idolatry. I'm not saying anything like that. It's just.
But yeah, a very happy man, so to speak. Hey, we're just focusing on this Keystone habits, and just probably looking at there's the cornerstones, there's the keystones that hold everything together. It's the stone at the top of the arch. Without that, everything falls apart.
Yeah.
Keystone activities. So we've been talking about that, and then within a building, you got pillars, structures that hold the roof up. And then beyond that, you got multipliers. But one thing I really want to lean into is because there's keystone behaviors that unlock other behaviors, but there's also, the pillars side of things and being consistent.
Right. Consistency.
Being consistent and what consistency does in a team, to a team, and how it builds confidence.
Yep.
In the hearts of people, because let's face it, the Knicks can fluke one championship.
Wow.
So I bring that
Can
up.
they do it again?
Can they do it again? The Hurricanes just won. Can they do it again?
Insert your own sports team there. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's like we all can fluke something. We can fluke a conference. We can fluke a good Sunday. We can fluke, but can we re-enter that space and do it on an ongoing basis? Because that's that leads to the question of whether people can trust us or not.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? Yeah. If and I guess we talk about it in e-groups or small groups all the time, don't we? The best thing you can do as a small group, e-group leader is to continue to turn up.
Yeah.
We're not cancelling if there's this and that on, and I think that does build incredible trust. I think on Sundays, there's a consistency in maybe the way that we have services. There's some consistent things that we do, I think, in meetings and that kind of thing. So often, we were talking before around when you've been around long enough, you go through the highs and lows, because life's not static. It doesn't, you have your moments, but consistency is, are we still prepared to turn up?
Yeah.
And I think when you do, it's amazing how God blesses. I often say, even in a leadership context, you don't always feel like personally you've got all the skills to do everything.
Yeah.
But there's something that consistency outlasts those things. You don't need to be the most gifted.
Yeah.
You don't need to be the most talented. You don't need to have all the right things to say. But, we use that language of you've just got to keep turning up to sort of outlast what the devil wants to do as well,
Yeah. Well, I like the thought that it holds weight.
Yeah.
Like a pillar, it holds weight. And in the end, the weight of our life is what we do repeatedly. It's weight. Even when it comes to our words, I look at some people, they can say the same thing as somebody else. One carries weight, one doesn't.
Yep.
Why is that the case? It's more than just what's coming out of their mouth. It's more than just what's been articulated. And that's why sometimes, so many people focus on the articulation of something, but, who they are shout so loudly in everyone's ears, they can't hear what they're saying. And it's that I like the picture I got when I was young. It's like an axe head. It's easy to sharpen the blade of an axe head, but going up to a tree, just because you've got a sharp blade, if I went up to a tree with a razor blade, it may be real sharp. But I'm going to spend
a long time.
It's important to have a sharp blade, but more than that, the weight of that axe head, the weight at the head is what allows it to penetrate through and to cut through. And I think that's the same with our words. It's more the weight of who we are, and what we do consistently in the good and in the bad, when we feel like it, when we don't. They're the things that, speak and build trust.
Yeah. And that runs the tension, I think, in the first week of this series. There's the frustration of time that we want to have things happen now.
Yeah.
And I guess maybe younger leaders, I guess there's always the tension of, you want to do things, you want to see God move in all these sorts of ways. but usually you're right, the weight comes from little decisions made consistently over a long period of time. You know how God builds that line upon line, precept upon precept. Like that's how he builds. And, talk about that, because that's again, there's a frustration in sometimes the timing of things, and things don't happen quick in God's economy, you know, often.
And learning when to speak about something.
Right.
Because I think it's really important as a leader that you operate within the sphere of your authority.
Yeah.
It's like you've been leading for a couple of years and you're instructing other people on leadership. I go,
or you're engaged, and you're talking to people about marriage. You know?
Well,
or kids.
I often say pre-marriage. Everybody thinks they've got the perfect relationship.
Yeah.
Oh man, we've got the best relationship. It's amazing. We never fight. And you ask them what they're called to. Oh, we're called to help other marriages and other people out. And I often say, hey, until you've been married 10 years and you had a couple of years, shut your mouth. Don't say anything, because it doesn't carry any weight.
Yeah.
And I think, even when it comes to leadership, it's like, it's got to stand the test of time. It's got to stand the test of time. It's got to stand the fire. The fire, Paul talks about it in Corinthians, the wood, the hay, the stubble gets burnt up. The stuff that I thought was really important as a younger leader.
Good.
Now, having been a leader for some time, it's like, oh, that all got burnt up in that.
Yeah.
And the gold, the silver, and the precious stone remain. And I think, learning to operate within the sphere or talk within the sphere of your authority is really important, because, that is going, I just need my life to give witness to this before I open my mouth.
Yeah, that's a good thought. Yeah.
Before I open my mouth on this, I just need to show up.
Yeah.
Oh, man, he's
Continue
been showing up. Yeah, tough times.
Yep.
Good times. He showed up when he was a student. He showed up when he had a full-time job.
Yep.
He showed up when he had young kids. He showed up when when a lot was on his plate. And that speaks.
Yeah, that's a great thought, man. I often think, and not to sound morbid, but I often think of even funerals.
Yeah.
Everybody likes to think, oh man, we'll be, but you find out who shows up in those really dark moments in your life when you need people.
Yeah.
Are you showing up in those moments? Are you showing up with meals for your neighbors, that kind of thing? Like there is, often I don't know whether we agonize over things that God's not really worried about. But God's always, as you've always said, he's always about people.
Yeah.
He's always about others.
Yeah.
And I think there's, are we showing up in the little things around people that maybe we don't think is important, but when you're on the other side of that benevolence, you think, wow, I really needed that at that time.
Yeah, that's true. So important.
And I think even going back to the marriage thing, when we often, in our context day, when we're asking people to lead others in pre-marriage counseling, we'll say, hey, we're really looking for you to be married for 10 years at least.
Yeah.
Because we want you to, some couples say to me, oh, no, man, our marriage, we've been through all this stuff. And I'm like, oh, perfect.
Yeah.
You're the perfect people for this situation, because we need couples to go through stuff, but they're still there. They're still standing. They're still being consistent. And they are in the right place to help, young married couples,
Yeah. Well, I think when it comes to the whole thing of developing authority is, I like the picture of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. They were thrown into the fire. They held to their conviction.
Yep, sure did.
Their conviction put them in the fire.
Yeah.
It's like
did,
most of us would go, God, you've abandoned us.
Yeah.
We're in the fire because we held to our conviction.
Yeah. God's like, I put you there.
Yeah. The conviction put them in the fire, but they found Jesus was in the fire with them.
Yeah.
And whatever fire you go through, finding Jesus is in the fire, which then resulted in them coming out of the fire, not smelling like smoke, and their clothes weren't singed. And the test of whether you have authority or not is whether you can go through the fire and not come out smelling like what you went through.
Yeah, that's really good.
And I think that's what you want. Hey, we went through this, but we found Jesus in the middle of this. We discovered him in a greater and a deeper way. I know, for instance, early on in my leadership journey, I went through a massive health thing. I've been leading the church for about 3 years. The prognosis wasn't good. I was in hospital. Finding Jesus in that space, coming out of it. It was funny how it was almost like people responded to my words differently.
Right. Yeah.
than
Wow.
a 26-year-old who hadn't been through something to now being a 30-year-old who had faced death in the eyes.
Yeah, some pretty serious. I remember being in London because I was in London when you went through that, and again, I can remember it really clearly when you returned to London to preach. The sound was different.
Yeah,
like not good bad. It's just there was different level of authority, and I remember people in the London church at the time, which was maybe 60, 70, 80 strong.
Yeah.
Everybody saying, man, there's something different about Sam's ministry when he came over after that. So I did. We all felt it.
Yeah.
And again, it was that going through that adversity, but continuing to stand in the face of it just changed. Yeah, it was amazing.
Yeah, and I think we don't like it. I don't want anybody to go through what it's like, but there's something formed in that space that can't be formed and forged any other way. And it's like, okay, when you go through a crisis, what do you hold on to?
Yeah.
And I think God sometimes deliberately allows the rug to be pulled
That's right.
from underneath our feet to see what we stabilize ourselves with.
Yep.
And you see that often, in people's lives. It's like, oh, that doesn't matter. The things that I said, were really important. I look at people who have been in ministry, been on staff and leadership, led teams, and they're preaching to their team about this and that. And then, there's a change of direction, there's a change of course. And I look at some people and I go, you're no longer buying what you used to sell.
That's right, yeah.
I'm going like, hey, was it genuine when you're selling it, or were you selling it because you're just on staff?
Yeah.
It's like, were these actual keystones that hold life together, or were these just temporary activities embraced because you held a role or held a title? And that's a good question to ask ourselves in a lot of ways. Why am I doing this? And do these activities, do these behaviors remain even though my life circumstance may change?
Yeah, that's really good. And again, a lot of this flies in the face of our current society where things change so fast now. People are changing jobs quicker.
Yeah.
Nobody's kind of sticking at things like they used to be. I think with reels and stuff, attention spans are different. And so again, a lot of the stuff that we're saying, we're talking about foundations and keystones and pillars. They're all, if you think about architecture, the Colosseum, like these are buildings that have stood the test of time and are still there. So there are some real fundamentals to our faith, that no matter what situation, no matter what war goes on globally, no matter what, geopolitical situation, that God's principles and precepts really do stand the test of time. Yeah. And I think we're saying, and we're really imploring people, man, I hate saying young leaders because it sounds condescending, but really if you can stick it with God, with God's principles and precepts, it's amazing where he positions people as well. Yeah. Because he's looking to see that faithfulness as well in a marriage, in a friendship, in church life. It's so easy to run, and it frustrates me when I see people on the edge of victory. Yeah. College students say at the edge of the end of the year when they're so close, one assignment to go, it's too hard. No, you're so close.
Just
just stick at it. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It's like, I think that's a big thing, and the enemy knows when you're on the edge of the breakthrough, often you'll face the greatest doubts, the greatest temptation, and how you respond in those matters, in those moments really matter. Yeah. I think that's really big, but it's like this postmodern world, it tries to erode the foundations and the things that are built on, the things that carried weight. I like just beginning of the church, it says they devoted themselves to the apostles' teaching, to fellowship, to prayer, to the breaking of bread. They devoted themselves. Some people question, or do we really need to gather together? Yeah. But it's foundational, there are things, activities in your life that actually carry weight and hold up things when the storm hits. And I think, those things are really important. Now, as a leader, you only can lead by example in those things. Because, hey, you need to be at
true.
church. You need to commit yourself to those things. But I like how the New Testament frames it. It says they devoted themselves.
Yeah.
And the devotion's got to come from within yourself.
Yeah.
As some people say, oh, can you hold me, make me accountable? I go, no, I can't. Because you can lie. I'm not with you 24/7. I can't make you accountable. There's something inside each and every one of us that wants to make. We've got to make ourselves accountable. We've got to come to a point where we go, hey, I don't understand, God, but I'm going to submit myself and I'm going to continue in these things because I know your words lead to life.
Yeah.
Your words lead to freedom. And I think that's the challenge of the Christian life is, what are the things that we need to persevere with? And what are the things that, inconsequential?
Yeah.
Because sometimes we persevere with our bad attitude and we persevere with our...
Or we persevere with stuff that just doesn't matter.
Bad habits. We persevere with teams like the Knicks. But
hey, that's a good lesson. Stay focused.
Yeah, stay focused. I don't know where I'm going with that.
Don't give up on them. Don't give up on them. Yeah.
But make sure the things that you're persevering with are actually things that can hold weight.
Yeah, and things that are life-giving. I think, like you said, Sam, before, like that, persevering with people, continuing to turn up. I think that's massive.
Yeah.
And I think that's going to be tested in this day and age a lot. I think with a lot of online activity, I think that's going to be tested. And that's what I love about people. The feedback we get from people all the time is, man, you were there when I really needed people, Yeah. And I think that was the early church, They devoted themselves to each other as well and relationships, and that's how it grew because it was so different to what the society around them was doing,
Yeah. And it's truths that hold in any season. That's what you want. In any season, these are the things that really matter. Hey, I just want to say, if you're going through a hard time out there and you're questioning some things, don't question the things that are written in the Bible. How the outworking of them, but just keep those foundational behaviors in place, and you can outlast the storm. Just outlast it. Stick to it. Outlast it. Persevere. Paul said, it's after you've done the will of God, you will receive the promise.
Good.
It's not before, it's after you've done the will of God. So my encouragement to you is just keep remaining consistent. Truth and time walk hand in hand. And over time, all those things that you've been putting in your life, where you've been guarding your heart, God will work for you and He'll work in your favor. Hey, thanks for joining us. Pray it's a blessing. God bless.
Thanks for listening to Off Script with Sam Monk. If you found this podcast helpful, make sure you pass it on. We love your feedback, so drop us a line about what topics you'd like to hear about on Off Script with Sam Monk.